All right. All right. We are live as I am waiting for my guest to appear. It's going to be John Wreck, Robert Jon and The Wreck. They are going to be my guest as I'm waiting for them to appear. Thank you guys for joining me in this first ever experience where I'm kind of unveiling the process that it is to interview musicians. Usually I like to do this by myself, but in a closed environment. But I figured, hey, why not show the world what is going on? And I'm still trying to figure out how to get you to go live. Where are you guys? Okay, here we go live. There we go. So, technology, as we are now connected with Robert Jon. How's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good, good. So happy and excited to be a part of this process. This is my first time ever going live on Instagram. I was just explaining to people that usually they like to do things in a closed environment, usually on Skype, very kind of personal for me to show this process of speaking with people. I find it always intimate. And so throughout, I guess, COVID, I've decided to kind of unravel a little bit with that. And first I started doing videos with people, and then it just started kind of amplifying from there, evolving into now what is this actually going live with somebody and letting everyone else to kind of see the process. I was wondering, did you go through certain steps as myself to kind of unveil your band?
Yeah, I mean, I think every band does it at some point in their path of being a musician. I mean, at some point you have to, sit in your room and become a musician. And then at some point you decide, okay, I want to share this with people. How do I do that? How do I, you know, uh, sit in front of, 10 people at a coffee shop and like play songs that I've been writing in my room? It's like it's a nerve-wracking thing, I think, when everyone starts that process. But I think everyone has to go through it at some point.
Yeah, the other part too was like, I was like, what do I wear? I'm so used to like, doing stuff, secretly, like, without a shirt on or, things like that. So that was the other part. And
Yeah.
figuring out like what the look is, I guess some might say. And two, my glasses, like I rarely ever get to wear these glasses. So I'm like, oh man, I get to wear these glasses. But speaking of fashion, you guys have a great look. And I'll tell you something. This is what kind of I don't understand with bands, and you can help me with this, is that I watch bands and all of them are always dressed so differently. And that kind of always bugs me because I'm like, well, you guys are a band and I get you guys are all trying to be unique and whatnot. But like, for example, your guys' band, Robert Jon and The Wreck, you guys all play the part. I don't know if that happened on purpose or was that a conscious decision that you guys made?
I think it just kind of happens naturally. Um, and there's certain things, if someone shows up in like a weird shirt, we're gonna say something like, "That's a weird shirt, man. Like, what are you doing?" I mean, we want to visually be a band. We want people to look up at us and visually say, "Okay, I can understand this band because they all make sense together." And
Yeah.
I've definitely seen bands like you're talking about where you look at them and you're like, "Are these people friends? Are they in the same band?" So it's definitely a visual thing just as much as what you're hearing, and it's a whole taking in everything when it
Yeah,
comes to a live band.
and it all, for you guys, it all looks just so seamless as I'm watching your videos and just your photos on all your social medias and whatnot. It really makes that package of you guys just sellable. And I know that's such a strange word because bands don't want to be sellable. It's a gift and a curse. It's something that we don't want to really talk about. But at the end of the day, you guys want to sell yourself, not necessarily your soul, but your music, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we want to share the music with everyone we can, and
Yeah.
if that's why for us it comes down to the music just as much too. I mean, we want to write the songs that mean something to us, but also mean someone else can take something from. So
Yeah, and
and that's it.
it's definitely working. You have your new album out, Last Light on the Highway, which I was just listening to before this, and that's something that I always do with bands. Is I take an hour. I listened to it before, but then I take a whole hour to actually really listen to what your music is saying or how it's speaking to me. And I got to say, I had my favorite song, and I just played it right now, and it was "Tired of Drinking Alone." But my favorite song. You really captured the essence of, or at least for me, what it is to just feel lonely. I don't know if that's kind of what you were going at, because like at times with me, there are times where I'm literally at a bar and I'm surrounded by tons of people, and they're all my friends, but I still feel that loneliness.
Yeah, I mean, it was a topic that came up from our crazy.
Uh,
Um, yeah, it was kind of started with our keyboard player Steve kind of bringing it in. It is about just you know letting things go between people and just having a drink together. Because at the end of the day, if things if you can't get through things, then you can't just have a drink with someone. Then what are you doing? And it came out during this whole pandemic thing, which kind of took a different light on the song itself, which was interesting to see that because if we would have just released it at any other time of the year or last year, even it would take on a different kind of concept. So it's interesting how songs can do that as well.
Yeah, you know what's weird too is I was drinking alone for a while. I mean, during this whole entire process of COVID, and it got to the point where I was just like, "What do I do?" And I started Zooming and Skyping and FaceTiming people.
Hmm.
Have you done the same too? Like having little Facebook parties just so you're not kind of just drinking by yourself?
Yeah, we do a podcast every Monday, so I'm drinking with the band every Monday when we do the podcast, and I've because you can't go do anything, and especially in the beginning, I was reaching out to some old friends and just having FaceTime chats and being able to actually talk to them a little bit more than we usually get to because they live on the other side of the state or the nation, or the world, and you don't really get to just call them up and have a nice long chat with them very often. So
You just mentioned something that I've always been fascinated with, and you guys are doing something I find fascinating, which is creating a podcast with the band. Is that different than making music with the band?
it's the same camaraderie as it is making music. It's just in a different form and a different version of being who we are. And I think you can come to a show and see us live and experience the music, and we experience you in the crowd, and it's the most amazing feeling. And it's a bummer that we haven't got to do that for a long time. But with the podcast, we're really just trying to engage with people and have people understand who we are a little bit more if we were all just sitting in a room trying beers and talking about music.
What beers are you trying? Anything good? Anything you recommend?
I drink a lot of Docent beer. They're
Okay.
down in San Juan Capistrano. It's my favorite brewery down here, and so I'm usually drinking one of their beers. But when we do it all on Zoom now, or StreamYard. We used to just get in a room every Monday and do it together. So we would bring in different whiskeys and different random anything, just to try together. So now we're just kind of choosing our own things to try and talking about it and stuff.
Now, if you're just joining us, I am speaking with Robert Jon from Robert Jon and The Wreck. They are a band out of OC. That's Orange County. I'm trying to be cool. Do people still say OC? Is that a
I
cool
don't
thing?
I don't know. I don't know what the youths are doing these days. I call it Orange County.
Okay, from the Orange County, and you are living in such an interesting. I want you guys are like your own little state because what you guys are doing is far different from what LA is doing. Wanted to get your take on all that.
I mean, it's weird. I feel like every week something else changes. I mean, there's places that serve food that have been open and then they just shut down for a week, and no one really talks about why. Obviously, it's probably because someone got sick or something happened, but it's just interesting how you don't hear much about what's going on. And I feel like the past couple weeks I haven't heard much of anything. It's just kind of like a stalemate. The places that have patios are open, places that don't have any patios or can't set up in a parking lot aren't. And it's almost like it seems like almost that's the way it is right now, and no one's worried about things changing or doing anything different. So it's definitely still weird, and uh, it's a weird place to be for everybody.
No worries. Wanted to get your guys' take on all that. Um, you guys are labeled so many different things. Do you find yourself leaning towards one genre or another, or do you just kind of like to keep it whatever you want to call us is whatever you like to call us?
I mean, that's kind of the how we started, and waiting for people to tell us what they think we sound like.
Right.
Because we just like to play music and we like to write songs, and we try to keep it in some sort of vein that is us and who we are. But we also like to take risks, and we also like to step out of the box sometimes. We don't want to make the same record three times. And we we brought in our old guitar player who brought in the slide guitar, and it was a very slide heavy portion of the band. And so people hear, a slide on a guitar and a rock song, and it's automatically Southern rock. So we've been kind of labeled Southern rock for a long time. And it's not anything that we're upset at. I love Southern rock. But people kind of get confused when we're from California, but we're playing Southern rock. Like, what are you doing? You should be from Georgia or Alabama. It's like, well, we're not, and we're playing music that we love. So um, I
What
mean, if whatever makes anyone comfortable with calling our music what they want, then I'm okay with it, as long as they're
that's
enjoying it and having a good time.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, you guys are going to be traveling to the UK. I just saw that you guys posted some dates in the UK. Was that surprising to you that they were so accepting of your sound?
We played in the UK last summer, and we got to play a festival out there called Ramblin' Man Fair, and it was just great. And they kind of brought us in with warm arms, and it was a great experience. And so we're really excited to go back to the UK for our first official tour over there. Um, we're It's still 2021. Hopefully everything gets back to normal and we can be on the road again.
Yeah. You're outside right now. I could see your foliage. Um,
Yeah, I
do
just
you?
on my patio.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of gardening? Are you into that?
Well, actually, what you're seeing is a reflection off my windows at the trees that I'm
Oh,
looking
okay.
at.
It looks
So
great.
they aren't my trees, but they keep my patio a little private and a nice little place. Feels like you're in the jungle sometimes.
I see some people are reacting right now, and they're saying that they miss you guys. What do you like to say to your fans right now that are listening and watching right here on Instagram Live?
Well, that we miss you guys too. I mean, I live for playing live music and being in the club or at the venue, experiencing the energy that we get from everyone in the crowd, and also sending that energy back into the crowd. And I live for it and I love it, and it's it's a bummer that we can't do it right now, and we miss everyone, and we're so thankful for the support that everyone's still giving us through this time. And we just want everyone to know that once we can get back to it, we'll be coming back and doing it as much as possible.
I know it's not the same as being live, but you guys have been playing or releasing, I should say, videos
Hmm.
for a while. Take me through that process of is it because that you want people to see you, or is it just that you have this extra time so you can put out these videos?
Yeah, I mean it's a little mix of it's a little mix of everything. I mean we've taken some videos out of the vault that we've just had for a little bit of time and we never released, and now's the time to release them because we can't go play a live show. And then the other thing is that we have the time to get together and record a video that we might not have been able to have time to do prior, because we would have been on the road right now, that kind of thing. And so we're trying to do as much as we can to to be around and be relevant, and make sure that people know that we're still playing music and we're still writing and still trying to get through this together.
Yeah, I totally feel you on all that. The album that is out that we've been talking a little bit about is called Last Light on the Highway. To me, that is an extremely symbolic term. I don't know if you're going for that or not. It removes the loneliness and the emptiness that sometimes a highway can feel. And you're literally like at night when I was doing drives and stuff like that. That's what I was looking for. It would get super dark, and I would look for the light and be like, okay, let me just make it to this next light, and then we go from there. Little steps. It's kind of like in the very beginning that we were talking about. What
It's really just a almost I don't know if I want to say mantra or something, but we've been a band now since 2011, and we've been pushing really hard, and we've been on the road um, a lot. We're road dogs, and we're always pushing and trying to find the next thing, and trying not to let anything wear us down to the point where we're tired of it. And we're always out there pushing and on the road, and we're always the last ones on the we're always the last ones out there on the highway. We've come up in Orange County, and we've met a lot of great people and great bands and friends to this day, and a lot of the bands that we grew up playing with aren't around anymore. They're great people and great bands, but life happens and you move on to whatever you choose to do. And so it's kind of looking back, and we're still here, we're still pushing. So
do you ever struggle with what is success? That's something that I've been kind of contemplating lately. As far as like with me, I've been doing this since 2009, and of course everything's an evolution. Now I'm doing videos and whatnot, but there are times where I struggle with, do I feel successful? Am I successful? And those are interesting patches in my life that I get through, and I manage to talk myself down because I can then find my inner success, if that makes sense.
hmm
Especially talking to like you, like I consider that successful. I do music, and I asked to speak with you, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, really? Like, you want to talk to me? But do you struggle with that too? I know that it's been a long road for you guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were struggling with it um, years back. I mean, when you're a band and you've been a band for 5 years and you're still trying to get a leg up somewhere. I think we struggled with that back in the day, and now we kind of there was a point in back in the day that we said, we gotta play and we gotta hit it hard, and we're not gonna see much until we hit 10 years. and we just had that game plan. So we just kept going and taking the opportunities that were um, given to us that we are so grateful for. And the past couple of years have been really busy and amazing experiences, and we've gotten to do things that we never thought we would have gotten to do. And so, as long as we're still making music and we're still on the road and we're happy individuals, I that's success to me.
That is so awesome to hear, and I hopefully that inspires some more people out there that are watching and listening to the show. Thank you so much for coming on, being on the show, and
Thanks for having me.
yeah, this was my first ever IG. I don't know, do you do the IG lives a lot?
No, not a lot. I've done a couple maybe.
Okay, all right.
Um,
Wanted to
yeah. Oh, I think
Okay. Well, thank you again. And oh, I'm sorry. What you were saying? I guess you're experiencing some technical delays. What were you saying?
I was just saying I think you're delaying a little bit, but I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, that just probably means they're probably going to cut the power just because of the rolling power outage that are going on in the heat. But
Yeah.
but thank you again, Robert Jon. For more information, please log on to their website, robertjohnandthewreck.com. They are on Instagram, on Facebook. I'll have all the links on .com once I've played all their music. You can listen to the stream, which I highly encourage, because there I'm actually playing some cuts from their album, which they've so generously allowed me to play. So thank you again for that. The last song that we are
Yeah.
going to leave with is going to be Do You Remember? And real quick, I want to talk to you about the music video. I did see that, and you guys are just playing, or I'm sorry, you guys just have little cuts of your guys from the past. And I wanted to get your take on what it's like to see yourself back then and you're watching it now. Do you get transported to that moment? And do you think about that moment? Or is it just like, oh, yeah, that was cool, and then you just keep on?
It's a little bit of both. Like not every single shot of the past, sparks something for me, but certain ones do. So it's kind of you know, kind of a little bit of both. Sometimes I see a shot of something in the past, and I'm like, oh man, it takes me like down and like not down in a bad place, like down and like just I like think about it for a while and just like that was rad or that was a great experience or that was a shitty experience. It doesn't, and not everything has to be great. Um, but yeah, so it definitely does. And just that video was a lot of fun to watch back and see how it was put together and everything. So
Thank you so much. And again, for more information, please log on to robertjohnandthewreck.com. My guest has been Robert Jon, and we leave you now with Do You Remember?
thanks for having me.
All right, man, that's it. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and I'll let you know
Yeah.
when the audio portion of this show comes out. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Yeah, bye.
Cheers, brother.
You guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciated it.